Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to do an introduction and training to the new Construction Progress Tracker in CALeVIP. My name's Rob Taylor. I'm a Senior Manager of EV Infrastructure here at CSE, and specifically, I manage the Construction Progress Tracker. And I am excited to share it with you today and hopeful that by the end of this short presentation, you'll be well prepared to start running your projects through this Construction Progress Tracker tool. Let's go ahead and go to the first slide. So here's our agenda for today. First, we're going to start with what is the Construction Progress Tracker. We're going to talk about signing up initially and getting an account to use the Construction Progress Tracker. We'll go through the details and basics of using the Construction Progress Tracker. We will review applicant responsibilities and program requirements for CALeVIP. Specifically, what are you expected to do? We'll review a couple useful resources like our user guide and the optional mobile app. Before we move on to our question and answer period, I am going to pivot to the tool itself and give you a live action walkthrough so you can see what it looks like, see how you'll move in and out of projects and mark tasks complete and things like that. And then to wrap it up, we'll do a Q&A, and you can add questions at any time during this presentation. There is a tab in the control panel of GoToWebinar, Questions tab. You can type out your question and hit submit, and we will get that question and have it prepared for our Q&A session. Also, please do note also in the control panel, there's a tab that says handouts, and there's one handout there. It's a link to a PDF of the user guide for the Construction Progress Tracker. You'll also get that in a follow-up email as an attendee to this webinar, but it is here for you to download as well. Let's go ahead and dive in. So what is the Construction Progress Tracker? It's a brand new tool implemented in CALeVIP Block Grant 2.0. It was developed for Block Grant 2.0, but as probably a lot of you on the call know, we are also now requiring it in Block Grant 1.0 projects, specifically for Block Grant 1.0 projects that receive an approved extension as of January 16th of this year, or Block Grant 1.0 projects that get funds reserved as of last week, February 21st. So all new projects in CALeVIP and projects with extensions will be required to use this tool. It's a user-friendly tool that allows applicants to track the progress of their projects against an estimated construction timeline. Applicants are required on a very basic level to accept an initial invite to Teamwork, which is the platform that the Construction Progress Tracker tool was built in. We will send you an invite, and within 5 days of receiving that invite, you do need to accept. It's very basic. You click on a link, put in your first and last name and a password, and that is it. After that, you'll update basic tasks and milestones related to your project in the tool as they're completed. We'll go through all these details in later slides and in the tour. Project progress can be used either as a timeline, a list, or Gantt chart. And again, it's your real timelines as compared to an estimated perfect world construction timeline. The purpose of the Construction Progress Tracker is to provide insight in the case of necessary extensions, but also to provide ongoing information on real world timelines that applicants are experiencing, specifically, your experiences with equipment providers, with AHJs and their timelines, with utilities, so on and so forth, that allows or provides CSE and CEC with the data needed to help remove obstacles and formulate a data-driven approach to solving problems for the industry in general. Next slide, please. So initial sign up is very, very simple. On day one of funding, so this is for block grant 1 or 2, when you get funds reserved, you'll receive your funding notification from CSE, and within 48 hours, you'll also receive this email from Teamwork. There's a picture of it in the slide right here. It just says you've been added to the Construction Progress Tracker, and you click the blue Get Started link. You will sign into Teamwork using the emailed link and create an account. You just need your name and a password. It already has your email, obviously, because it emailed you. Please note, applicants are required to sign up within 5 business days of receiving this invitation from Teamwork. Next slide. So once you're inside the tool, there are tasks and there are milestones, and we will go through this in kind of more detail in the live walkthrough at the end. Tasks are the smaller tasks, obviously, within the construction project. Things like we submitted our permit, we ordered equipment, we scheduled inspection, things like that. And there are 16 of those in a typical 450-day DCFC project. And then there's milestones, and we have 6 major milestones, and those are more significant dates, like the date you received your permit, the date you began construction, the date you submit your final paperwork for funding. You will receive, ahead of time, you will receive email reminders of upcoming tasks or milestones that are due. For tasks, you'll receive a reminder 15 days ahead of time, and for major milestones, you'll receive a reminder 1 day before. Next slide. This is another way within the tool that you can view your projects. The diamonds that you see here are major milestones, and the lines on the Gantt chart are tasks. These are obviously based on the average timeline for either a DCFC or an L2 project, depending on what your project is, and an estimated average timeline that tasks and milestones may take. These can be modified based on the reality that you're experiencing, and I'll show you how to request a modification to a timeline. It cannot be changed by users themselves. It has to be changed by admin, but happy to do that in any case, and it's very easy to request a change. What can't be modified is the ultimate expiration date. So with DCFC projects, we have a 450-day timeline, and in order to extend that date, you do need to submit a formal extension request with our existing extension process. That being said, within the project, we can change timelines of different tasks within to match reality without a formal extension request. Next slide. Over the course of the project, you'll get automated email notifications. Again, just a repeat of what I said earlier, 15 days prior to tasks expected to be due, you'll get an email reminding you, and 1 day prior to milestones. That's a great opportunity if for some reason you know that it's either already completed or not going to be completed on the intended date. You can respond to that email and notify us that that needs to be changed, or obviously can you use it as intended to just give you a forewarning that in 15 days it needs to be checked complete. We're also going to be sending very basic progress questionnaires starting at day 120 of projects, so that's 120 days after funds reserved, and then periodically every 90 days thereafter. And these are going to be very basic 5 to 10 question surveys that are meant to pinpoint and target exactly where you are in the progress of your project. Next slide, please. Here's an example of the timeline that's been created for projects and at the points that you'll receive communication from us via the Construction Progress Tracker. So this is a typical DCFC project in Block Grant 2. Day 0, obviously is the funds reserve date on to day 450, which is the intended final date for final docs submission. The diamonds that you see throughout this are different notifications from Teamwork, and these circles starting at day 120 are the dates that you'll receive surveys. So we're imagining that typically at the 60-day checkpoint, you'll have your permit and utility design. Construction typically would begin about 60 days after that, and so on and so forth, onto the installation completed day 390 and final docs at 450. There, in the user guide, there's this basic timeline as well as L2 timelines and DCFC timelines for block grant 1.0 as well. Next slide, please. So this is important to note. The CPT is required for all block grant 2.0 projects that get funds reserved. For block grant 1.0 projects, the CPT is required for projects that get an approved extension after January 16th, 2023, and for projects that receive funds reserved after the 21st of February, 2023. At this point, that's everyone. So the minimal expectations for applicants in the Construction Progress Tracker is first to accept that initial invite that we send you within 5 days, and then to mark your 5 major milestones and 16 tasks complete. I should note that for block grant 1.0 projects that are getting extensions, obviously a lot of these tasks and milestones are already complete, and we are to the best of our knowledge, any communication we've already gotten from you that we already know, you've got your permit, you've started construction, anything we know, we'll go ahead and complete ahead of time for you. And when you receive the initial project, definitely feel free to reach out to me via the cptadmin at Energy Center email, or just respond within Teamwork in the comments section to let us know if any dates should be different or if any tasks should already be completed that are not marked completed, and we're happy to modify that for you. Basic applicant expectations are: 1, obviously apply for funding and provide that initial documentation. Number 2, just to repeat, create a Teamwork account and read the instructions issued within 5 days of receiving that welcome email. We'll provide the 60-day checkpoint, which for block grant 2 is utility service design or an issued permit. You'll update project task progress and completed milestones in Teamwork throughout the timeline. Respond to questionnaires on day 120 and every 90 days thereafter, and then submit final documentation by day 450. Next slide, please. There's a user guide that goes into all this in depth, has expectations, some walkthroughs of how specifically to mark things done, how to request timelines be modified, and many other frequently asked questions. Again, that is in the handouts section on the toolbar here in the GoToWebinar toolbar under handouts. Also will soon be available on the CALeVIP document library, and we'll send you a PDF after this webinar as well. And there's also an optional mobile app. This is designed as a desktop app, which is how I use it, but you can also use it on your smart device. It's available for Apple devices or Android devices. And if that makes your life easier, it is available to you. Next slide, please. And that is the basics of it. It is a very basic tool. I am going to take the opportunity before we go into questions and answers to take you on a walk through the tool itself, show you how projects are organized, and show you how to interact with projects and complete tasks. And as I'm walking through this, please feel free to add questions to the questions tab in GoToWebinar. So this is the home page for Teamwork, where Construction Progress Tracker lives. You can see teamwork up here in the top, a bar here, and on top here. My projects is the place where you always want to start, up here at the top. And I've got a lot of projects here because it's the admin page that has every single project that currently exists. You will only see your projects that you or your team has been assigned to. And each project is here in a table of contents in this kind of rectangular box, and they're all grouped by application number. So you'll see it by application number. In the description of the project, you'll see if it's DC, FC, L2, or combo, and the specific address. In order to access the project, simply hover on the application number itself, click it, and you are in the project. So this shows, it starts in a list form and shows all the tasks associated with the project. I'll close these and we can open them up. So these are the major parts of the project: permitting, pre-construction. Let me go back. It's actually probably better if I just go through a template for you. So let's look at this block grant 1 L2 template, for example. You can see under each section are the various tasks. So as you're applying for the permit, there's, did we order our EV charging equipment? Have we completed the design and selected a contractor? And the expected date that these will be begun and complete. If it's complete, very, very easy. All you do is just go to this check mark and left click. It turns green and notified, and I'm notified that it's complete. If you would like to change the date, the easiest way to do that is to click on the name of the task itself, which opens this up, and add a comment and say, "Hi, cptadmin. This will be complete on X date." Save a comment, save that comment, and that will notify me to modify the date. Very simple. You can also view these. If you don't want to view it as a list, you can view it as the Gantt chart here, which I find easier. When we looked at this earlier, the lines are the various tasks and the diamonds are the milestones. You can also complete tasks from here if you want. You just have to hover over it, click on the little pencil, and click the green, turn the clear check mark to green. Now, if you want to look at just milestones, you can move from the list to the milestones tab. And this just shows the major milestones and the date they're expected to be complete. And again, just like with tasks, if you want to notify us that the date is going to be different for one of these milestones, just click on it and add a comment. We will see that in our inbox and can either change it immediately or follow up if there's an additional questions. And I do want to reiterate that we can make changes within these timelines based on what you're experiencing, but what we cannot change without an official extension request. We can't change the final deadline for a project, which you'll get on your initial funds reserve date. For a DCFC project, there's 450 days. And for an L2 project, there's 270 days. If you need more time than that, you will need to submit an official extension request. But we can modify timelines within the project via comments in this construction progress tracker. That is the basic tour, a very simple tool. Definitely, if you have questions for me about this, how to sign up, what expectations are, please email cptadmin@energycenter.org. I will get your email and I will respond to you. Let me transfer the screen back to our original presentation and we can start to field any questions that have come in during the course of the presentation. So, all right, so I see some initial questions here. So there's a question, if we are in a phase one project or block grant one project, when will we receive the invite to sign up? So I should say specifically, if you've received funds reserved in the last week, you should have already gotten an invitation, but if you haven't gotten it yet, that will be coming in the next day or two. If you got funds reserved before that, you are not required to be in the CPT yet unless you have an active approved extension. And again, you should get the invite to the Construction Progress Tracker within 48 hours of either getting your extension approved or getting funds reserved. And I see another question. We didn't receive the invite to set up the CPT, only the training invite. So I would say definitely please do email cptadmin@energycenter.org if you have a project that falls under these requirements, either received an extension after January 16th or had funds reserved in the last week. And I'll be happy to set it up for you. So when do the CPT tasks and milestones have to be submitted by? So the tasks and milestones were requiring that within 14 days of its due date, that you either click it done or put a comment on there letting us know the expected date of completion. So that's a maximum of 14 days. And obviously, I'll definitely reach out to you, and we hope that you will modify it before its due date, but definitely within 14 days of past its due date, either click it done or via a comment on the task or milestone, let us know when it is expected to be done, and we can change that date. Will you send additional invites to sign up if required and we miss signing up? Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I send an invite and it's been 5 days and I haven't seen a follow-up, I will follow up. And if you know on your end that you should have received an invite but haven't, again, please email cptadmin@energycenter.org and I will happily send you an invite. Can multiple people from my organization be added to the CPT for project visibility? Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, please either email cptadmin@energycenter.org or comment on any task or milestone in the project with the names and email addresses of anyone you would like added, and we can associate them with specific projects, all the projects, whatever you like. And we definitely really recommend that you do have multiple people from your organization signed up. We will initially email, the initial email invite will go to the primary applicant in Teamwork. And then from there, yes, please do request any additional folks in your organization that you would like to be in the construction progress tracker. Let's see, I see one other question. Is this for both level 2 and DCFC for CALeVIP 1.0? Yes, yes it is. It is required for both. And again, just to reiterate again, it's required for any project in CALeVIP 1.0 that received an extension after January 16th or received funds reserved after February 21st. It will be required for all projects in Block Grant 2.0. Well, great. I believe those are all the questions we've seen. I hope you're all pleased that was a 27-minute presentation rather than the hour we had left. It's a very simple tool. I hope that's the intention. The intention is to make this extremely easy for folks to interact with and engage with. And I do want to just reiterate that please reach out to cptadmin@energycenter energycenter.org or my email, charles.taylor@energycenter.org, here on the screen with any requests for help or clarification. We are really looking forward to this tool and hoping that it's going to make projects easier and remove barriers for all of us deploying chargers. Thank you so much for your time today, and we will we'll follow up with an email in the next couple days with another copy of the user guide and a copy of this webinar as well. Thank you.